Church family. It is really good to be able to connect with you. Not in the way that I would prefer to, which would be in person, but praise the Lord for technology that enables us to do this. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jane Kratz, and I am one of the ministry workers at Hope Church. I am responsible for care and for women's ministry at Hope. And we are now just over a week into a 21-day lockdown in South Africa because of the COVID-19 virus. I have been receiving many emails in my inbox with resources for caring for people during this time, and most of them center around fear and anxiety, but there are very few resources that are focusing on death and grief. But our greatest fear is indeed death, and it is the elephant in the room, something that we do not like to talk about. We think we're okay, and we ignore it until it comes really close to home. So, just back to COVID-19. How many of you prepared for this lockdown? I certainly did. I went out and purchased the different supplies that I need. And yeah, that was a good thing. But there are many people who are not taking this seriously, who think that there's an overreaction around COVID-19. And there are plenty of people who didn't seem to take the president's statement seriously about what the 21-day lockdown would look like, and the fact that he would deploy both the police and the army to ensure that was kept in force. If you don't think that death is ever going to come to you, then you're not going to prepare for it. What soldier would enter a war without having prepared for it? And yet we think that we can face death or grief without doing any preparation. Preparing is a good thing. Just yesterday I was watching the news, and in a 24-hour period in Spain, over 800 people lost their lives because of this COVID-19 virus. Back in the 14th and 15th centuries, there were documents that were circulated in the church that were about preparing well for death, called The Art of Dying. I know personally how important this is. My husband Stephen was born with cystic fibrosis, and at the age of 8, he asked the question, what is going to happen to me when I die? And because of that, he encountered the gospel, the good news of Christ's life, death, and resurrection, and the promise and hope of resurrection for him if he put his faith and trust in Jesus, which he did at the age of 9. He was one who never shied away from dealing with death and facing that reality, because it was a disease or a condition where most of the kids, when he was born, didn't even make it to their teen years, much less into their adulthood. Thank the Lord for 43 years of life that he gave Stephen and 10.5 years of marriage. But Stephen helped me to prepare for and think about his death in advance. And I've certainly done a lot of thinking since his death in terms of dealing with my own grief. And so we're going to have a series of about 3 more videos which will help you to think about, talk about, and prepare for dealing with hard times, with struggles, with grief, and with death. The 3 encouragements that I want to bring to you. The first one is, don't isolate, but rather connect. Now, I'm not suggesting in this particular time of lockdown to connect physically with people, but what I do mean is relationally connect and share your fears, your questions, and your sorrows, but in a psalm-like way. And we're going to unpack that a little bit more in the next video. The second word of encouragement is to use this time to really get to know the scriptures well, and the God of the scriptures, to get to know his character, what he is like, and how that can help you to prepare for dealing with hard times and with death and sorrow. And the third encouragement, the third little video that we are going to produce, will be to encourage you to be thanking and praising God in the midst of the struggles of grief and of this corona pandemic. Please, please don't think that it can't come close to you. My younger brother Brian was tested positive for COVID-19 about 3 weeks ago, and praise the Lord, he is doing well and he's recovering. But that really made me realize that I cannot ignore this reality. We have 5 people so far who have died in South Africa, but if the statistics are anything to go by, with what's happening in the rest of the world, in Italy and Spain, in the States, we need to take this seriously. We need to prepare for the eventuality of death within our own community, never mind the rest of the country and the world. So I look forward to connecting with you again and digging a little bit deeper into these truths. Stay safe and God bless.